Hey guys, welcome back to another video here with me, Arne Huschenbeth. Today we're playing Gruul Steel Cutter. This deck is originated by Marked. A strong player who's been playing on the Pro Tour and has gotten famous for just grinding like every standard challenger there is for a couple of years. Now he's on the Pro Tour and the World Championship. I think he qualified for the Marks as well. His name is a little difficult to pronounce. I think his last name is Kikides, but his first name is like Charalampos or something like that. I'm sorry. If you're watching this Marked, I'll just call you Marked, plain and simple. So this list is by him. Originally, I just made a little changes. I changed some things in the sideboard. All right, what do we have in front of us? We essentially have the Mice deck, and we kind of just took out Innkeeper's Talent and Screaming Nemesis for just the full 4 copies of Questing Druid, Might of the Meek, and Cory Steelcutter. Cory Steelcutter is, funnily enough, kind of similar conceptually to Innkeeper's Talent. Innkeeper's Talent was always really good as a sort of grindy piece that made all your creatures good and would make removal especially awkward, right? And cut it as something similar, while also just being a threat in itself, right? The Innkeeper's Talent, you could technically beat it by just killing every creature, and if they run out of creatures, they just have the talent sitting there, not giving any buffs to anything. But Cutter is a threat in itself, which is super sick. And equipment with that Equip 2 is actually pretty relevant in this deck because it triggers Valiant. It triggers Heartfire Hero. Like, if you just have Cutter laying around in a Heartfire Hero in a I don't know, turn 5 or something, the game has dragged out a little bit, you can just buff your Heartfire Hero with the Equip and trigger Valiant. Same with the Challenger. So that's some really nice synergy with the Mice. And yeah, I mean, Cory Steelcutter works well for lots of cheap spells. We have a lot of cheap spells here. Another card that it works exceptionally well with is Questing Druid. So Izzet Prowess article on tcgplayer.com is coming out by me, highlighting the importance of Wren's Resolve in Izzet Prowess. I'm a big proponent of that card, and Questing Druid is very similar to it. Of course, the Seek the Beast mode is a little worse, but nonetheless, you do get that extra spell to then re-trigger the Cory Steelcutter in the form of Questing Druid as well. So you kind of like it's that really is, I think, puts it over the top and makes it better than Wren's Resolve. I would presume. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe the downside of not being able to cast Seek the Beast like on turn 3, and then like if you don't hit the 1-drop, if you had like land and 2-drop, it's really awkward and you have a Cutter already in play or something like that. There's some awkwardness that could happen, but hey, maybe you just sometimes take the gamble on it and hit the 1-drop because you do have, what do you have here, like 27 1-drops. That's like half your deck, so the odds of hitting 1-drop are pretty high on turn 3 with a Questing Druid. Yeah, anyhow, this is definitely a good home for the card. And yeah, the rest of the 1-drops pretty simple. Heartfire Hero and Swift Spear as the creatures. No Hired Claw, which is interesting. I guess you could run some Hired Claws instead of some of these Might of the Meeks maybe. I think the Rages and Burst Lightnings are a lock. The Shock are just for extra triggering. Those could also be Hired Claw, theoretically. But yeah, I mean, having 8 1-drop creatures is kind of plenty. And then 4 Might of the Week to keep everything going, to give Trample, to give Prowess, of course. Not a card that we usually see in Mice, but it is a little bit better here because it does draw you a card and it keeps sort of that chain, that flurry of spells going that you need for the Cutter. And then my addition to the deck is a Wild Ride. In the original list, there have been half elementals, 2 of them to be exact, and only 3 Manifold Mouse. I cut both of them because I think that card can be really awkward. It doesn't trigger your Cutter early in the game, and this deck isn't even that spell heavy. Like, I like the half elemental more in like a sleight of hand opt version, and this deck plays less spells kind of than the Izzet version, a little bit fewer. It's not that, yeah, I don't know. I think the half elemental is a little awkward, and you don't really need it for the late game punch. Here you have like a lot of late game power between Ember, Challenger, Valiant, the Cory Steelcutter, the Questing Druid, and Manifold Mouse Offspring. So I don't think you really need the half elemental anyways. And then 1 copy of Wild Ride. I wanted to try this. I thought Wild Ride and Manifold Mouse is a really nice combination. Just hasting in with 8 power, essentially 4 power, but 8 damage out of nowhere on turn 3 with the double strike. And then we also have the Harmonize, which will certainly come up in the very late game where, I don't know, you can give a bigger creature haste. Yeah, sideboard. I made a lot of changes to the sideboard. I didn't like the sideboard too much. I added 2 Torture Towers over a copy of 3 copies of Lithomantic Barrage. I think Barrage is a little narrow. Pick Your Poison is kind of nice because it does kill the cutter and Slick Shot. It does so at sorcery speed though, which I'm not super big fan of. Maybe you'd rather have a Braid, honestly, in this kind of slot. I could easily see that because we do also have 3 more disenchant effects, and then a Braid might just be better than this card. It does kill Meringue River Region, which is pretty important. Like, that card has become very, very relevant. Meringue River Region, so yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Ghost Vacuum, 2 copies, not much to say there. Scorching Shot, I wanted something for Shieldred. Shieldred seems to be making a little bit of a comeback, and I didn't want to just fall to her completely. In the Izzet Prowess deck, I like Into the Flood more. This deck doesn't have that, obviously, so to deal with bigger creatures, there's Scorching Shot. And then we have Heritage Reclamation, which I think is such a sick sideboard card right now. Gets rid of the, cutter, theoretically, although you're not planning to board it there necessarily. But it most importantly gets rid of course, Lockdown, and also exiles a card in instant speed from a graveyard. So Abuelo's Awakening, which is a bit of a rougher matchup for like Mono Red and Gruul, because you don't have great interaction besides like Ghost Vacuum for their graveyard, and then they can just like remove the Ghost Vacuum with the 4 copies of Lockdown they have. And the Reclamation is just a 2-mana instant speed way of messing up their Abuelo target and just exiling it, which is so powerful, I think. And then also against stuff like Oculus, you can side it in to exile the card, or even against Jeskai Control, it blows up Lockdown, obviously, but it also can be used to deny them the card they want to get back with Shiku, the Paragon's Way. So yeah, it just does a lot. And worst case, you can always cycle it, right? Just like Paw Pet Formation, you can always cycle. That's something that Pick Your Poison can't do. Anyhow, last few slots I devoted to Screaming Nemesis. I mean, I think if you're on the draw and you're playing the red matchup, this is the best turn-free play. It's awkward for your opponent to attack into. We all know how good it is in the red matchups. Not much to say there. And then 1 copy of Sunspine Links. I was looking for kind of some oomph play, something powerful, something that punished the opponent for tapping out, like a Jeskai or a Domain opponent, and I just added 1 Sunspine Links. I think like with Cutter, you don't need that type of late game too much any longer, but with the Cutter Questing Druid package. But hey, it's nice to have like this one-off, I think. All right, well, that's Gruul Steel Cutter. Looking at the list, I mean, I am honestly not quite sure. Is this like the question mark going into this video, the thesis I want to see resolve is this better or worse than Izzet Prowess? How does this version of Cutter feel? What is the best Cutter deck? Let's find out. Play first. Mono red on the play. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, we are a mountain away from casting everything. And it's not like we're kind of a mono red deck in game 1, to be honest. Like, we don't necessarily, like, we can still cast Seek the Beast if we just have mountains. We don't need the green. Theoretically. Hedge Maze, yeah, alright. Hedge Maze into Hedge Maze in the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna Challenger you. Challenger! Is this Domain? Alright, haven't seen Domain in a while. Alright, so I'm thinking of Lockdown, of course. So yeah, let's just start with a Might of the Meek. Let's not go all in right now. Like, I could go Challenger Might of the Meek for max damage, but I don't want to get blown out by Lockdown too much. 6 damage. Put him to 10. If I go Burst Lightning, it's 7, 9, go to 7, then I have 4 damage from these next turn. If I cast another Challenger, it's 8. They go to 8. If they don't have Lockdown, it's super dead. If they have Lockdown, I can go Challenger, Burst Lightning. Not the greatest. If they go Overlord into Zur, Overlord into Zur, I put him here to 10, and the next turn I can go Challenger, Burst Lightning. That is exactly 10, right? 3, 3, 8, 10. Okay. Okay, so then I just play around Lockdown here. I have the kill if they go Overlord. If they go lockdown, the game slows down significantly. So then I don't need to kill them on turn 4 or whatever. I can kill them on turn 5. Alright, they just have a removal spell. No ramp. I mean, I think that's gonna be really bad. Like, this is gonna be really tough for my opponent to win. I guess I'll just do this, whatever. Just have a little bit too fast of a draw here. Cute. Okay. Monsters Rage. This is lethal, right? Yeah. If I wouldn't have drawn Monsters Rage, there I probably would have gone Hero plus Emberheart plus Shock phase. They take like 8, go to 2, and I have a huge board, and I have a Challenger in hand, and they are 2 life, so the only way they get out of that is like land Beza. Because like Sweeper doesn't do it against the Challenger in my hand. I guess it would have just been 7 damage actually. So that would have gone to 3. I think that's still what I would have done, I think. So if I go Hero Questing Druid and leave this Challengers in a burst line in my hand, I'm not really threatening lethal against a Sweeper. Although I guess you could say that I didn't threaten sweetly. Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah. Anyways, Lynx can come in here, and the Sharks can go out. And I do want some disenchant effects. I think it's probably fine to trim some 2-drops in this matchup. It's probably also fine to trim some burst lightnings. So pick your poison, and it's a little awkward against Beanstalk. I think I like these two a little bit more, I think. It is better as a 1-drop, I guess. Anything else? No. I could play the pick your poison instead of the burst lightning. It's not crazy. Maybe. I think I'll just leave it as is. I don't know. It seems fine. Domain is, I think, kind of dead as a deck, as long as this cutter stuff is going on. I'd be certainly surprised if I see it to be successful this weekend in Bologna. I could be wrong, I guess. All right, this hand is not a keep. Oof. Yeah, not having 1-drops. Not having aggressively slanted 1-drop creatures. Hired Claw. Ah, yeah, this hand is terrible. Should I go to 5? Gamble. Keep it. Would I even bottom a land? I want to draw. Just try to play a bit of a grindy game. Destroy. I'm hoping they have a lot of lockdowns here, I guess. I don't even know. This is tough. Not a great hand. Going to 5 is rough too. Glad I bottomed the land, that's for sure. 2 mana, yeah. Could easily be a Right's End. I think I just have to play proactively though. And I do have it. Yeah, I could have not attacked. I could have just played it and not attacked. But I'm on the draw already and I'm mulliganed. Like, I don't want to play too passively, you know? Alright. If they go Zur, we can blow the Overload up in response at least. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they just have a bit of a slow hand here, I guess. Yeah, that ain't slow. That's trouble. They kept the card on top. Another Heritage Reclamation. Do I just cycle the Might? I think so. Through all my free disenchant modes effects. 3 cards in hand. I have to cast this Reclamation right now. It's going away. I could just blow up both of these and then I just have to face these 2/1s. Okay. That's fine, I suppose. Kind of hoping they play Zur here, so I can blow up the Overlord. No Zur. I hope they don't have more Overlords. Just have Day of Judgment, Temporary Lockdown, more removal, Beza. It's also annoying. I mean, it's a 4/5 that draws a card. Do I use this? Or do I use this? The graveyard is irrelevant, artifacts are irrelevant, so this is just straight up better, right? Yeah. Alright, so I'm hoping for a removal hand. Now I'm gonna go Questing Druid, Heartfire Hero, leave up Questing Druid, Paw Patch. Yeah. I could also go Burst Lightning on one of those things. That's probably better than playing the Heartfire Hero. We'll take 6 here. And then next turn I hopefully stabilize. Okay. Baloth, yeah, I guess makes some sense. Alright, Steel Cutter would be a nice one to find. Two lands. Manifold Mouse. Alright. If I go Questing Druid, Heartfire, this becomes these 4/4 and 2/2. They hit me for a couple damage in the air. Can double block the Beza, I guess, but they can also blow up my double block. I don't really want to deploy all my cards here, because that would mean that a lockdown. I guess I do have Power Patch. It's tricky. I kind of have to use the Paw Patch and the Zur, though. It's like any enchantment, any Overlord they draw will get me. I could just not play around anything. Just deploy my entire hand. I seem to have Get Lost. Get Lost would kill this. Do I need to jump block that already? Going to 4 sounds like a bad idea. But I think... Yeah, I mean, I just was really slow out of the gate. There's 20 life. I haven't dealt them a single point of damage. Like, yeah. My hand was awkward. Maybe I should have gone to 5. Tricky. Their hand was kind of really good into my hand, to be honest. Maybe I lost the game when I attacked with the Ember Challenger on turn 2. It's just tough to not go for the attack there. Interesting. No attack with Beza. Now I have to play into the lockdown anyways. But at least they didn't have a 5/5 lifelinker, I guess. Killing the Azure was pretty important here. I'm at 8. I think they have 1 removal. So I can just attack with this. Okay, interesting. Not using it. So they don't want to give me to get the maps and have me pop them, I guess. Sure. I could have cast my Might of the Meek there. It's unfortunate. Alright. Well, I guess I can grind a little bit. I can make my questing druid into a 5/4 here. Weird game. Okay, that's probably good. Huh. Wow, okay. Man. Can I outgrind them? Ooh. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. I want a 2-turn clock, unfortunately. Let's pop a map here. See what's under my Ember Heart. Then we can. Let's make some math here. Okay, so I can make my Heartfire Hero into a 4/4, and then I can give both of them double strike attack with everybody. They block. I mean, let's say they let one of these guys through. They both 4/4s with rage. They become 7. That has 14 damage. They block another one. Like they block here, they let this through, that's 14. It's not quite close enough to kill them this turn. It's like they can block this one here and then take like 14 plus 2. If they block here, I guess I buff this. It's a double striker too, and this is double striking too. Wait a minute. So wait. Like, yeah, right. So I can buff the one that they block, and this has 8 power double strike with the. Oh no, I don't have enough mana. I was considering the map, but I can't do both. I can't map this, make it a 4/4, and do this. So this is free double strike. Okay. This is free double strike, free double strike. Prowess makes it a 4/4. So how can they block you to survive? If they block this guy and like the Prowess creature, I can buff this, make it 7. They take 2 plus 7, 9, 10, 11, 17. Okay. That's how they survive and keep their Zur. I don't think there's a way for them to keep the Beza, is there? They block Zur on this. They take 3. No, and then block. I guess they can block Beza here, but Zur, no. They could block Beza on Manifold. Zur here. Then they take. They also have Beanstalk to animate. Shit, okay. No. Okay. I don't want that, I think. Okay. Reassessing right now. Double strike. I think I'm just that just means that I'm staying back with my creatures. That's essentially what this means. I'm still gonna give both of them double strike. I'm still gonna attack with both of them, but I'm gonna stay back with everything else. Yeah. That's just what I tried to figure out. I forgot about the Beanstalk. That would have been bad if I forgot about 2/2 lifelink Death Touch creature there. That would have been bad. I did see it in the end. What a wild game. Love it. They hatch-maced Surveil to the bottom, like the shadowy backstreet, so their top decks could just be a land. Yeah, I did think a little bit too much there. I just needed to attack these 2 creatures. It was a pretty simple turn after that decision. Yeah. Now we're gonna do this. They're gonna take a bazillion, and then next turn we kill them. And they can't kill us right now. Yeah, I'm actually ahead right now. It's crazy. They need to top deck. The power of mice in the late game is just unreal. They take 10. Yeah. They animate Beanstalk. No, they don't. I guess they're playing for a sweeper. Okay. Pretty good draw. Draw a card, kill my best creature. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was... You know, one top deck away from winning the game. You know? And that after such a bad start is certainly... I'll you know, I can't count it as a win, but it kind of feels like a win almost. But yeah, with the Zur here, they have 7/7 lifelink death touch. And I think I'm okay conceding to that. It's gonna attack me next turn. And no, they actually have lethal in the air, right? Like, I'm just dead. Okay. Okay. Okay, that was funny. Huh? It just got really grindy. Like, if the burst lightning would be pick your points. I don't know. That's funny. How grindy that got. Nemesis, Torture Tower. I really don't like the pick your poison against Beanstalk. That's sort of my issue with it. Is the Nemesis better than like Burst Lightning? I don't think so. I think the cheapness of Burst Lightning together with Cutter is kind of important. That was a weird game. If they wouldn't have top deck, we would have just won. That was crazy. Yeah, play to your outs, even in a really bad looking situation. That was sort of the takeaway from that, I would say. All right, I'd love to play first. Is this deck 2/2 drop heavy? Maybe the Manifold Mouse actually shouldn't be a 4-off. It just feels wrong to cut it. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels wrong. Maybe you just play 4 Hired Claw instead of the Might of the Meek. This looks awkward. I don't know if I should have mulliganed this hand. It's really bad, actually. Maybe I should have mulliganed it. Kind of wild. That's the... Oh my god. Drawing 2 lands off the top of this hand was brutal. I really need a 1-drop there. Wow. Rough. Yeah, maybe this was a mulligan. Yeah, lots of 2-drops don't combo with the Steel Cutter, that's for sure. Learning as we go. Oh man, the max punishment. Keeping 3 lands, drawing 3 in a row with a hand that was really needed some spells. Okay. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I think I'm just gonna offspring this one. I'll keep the paw patch for later. Alright, well, get a little unlucky, and you lose even a good matchup. Got unlucky in game 2, got pretty unlucky here. I mean, you could maybe sell me on the idea of mulliganing this hand. But, you know, if I would have drawn at least like 1 spell and 2 lands, that would have been pretty okay, I would say. Gosh, I mean, I'll wait, I think. I could do it in the main phase to blow this up, draw a card with one of them, but it's not great. I feel so defeated after those 3 lands in a row. I just can't possibly win anymore, I think. There's just too much. The Gruul deck, I mean, any of these red decks, if they just draw 6 lands in like the top 10, GG, I guess, you know? I could blow up the Beanstalk, I could draw a card, make a food. I think I have to do my own thing here and draw into more spells. Hopefully Questing Druid. Burst Lightning, okay. Rock Face Village. It is at least 7 lands in the top 13. That's just gonna be a loss with most decks in Magic, I guess. Not in Magic, but definitely with this deck. There's no shot. 7 lands in the top 13, no shot. And like yeah, no shot. Especially at the distribution we had it in. 3 spells, 6 lands. Was off. No, right. We have had 4 spells, 6 lands as our first 10 cards. And like one of those spells was a Paw Patch, which, you know, not great. And because it's not a good early game play. Yeah. I mean, this might just be a problem this type of deck has compared to Izzet. I don't know. Although, you know, with Izzet, you could have also drawn 7 lands in a row. So it's like, or 7 lands in total. So it doesn't really say that much. Always frustrating to lose when you lose against a really good matchup. But, you know, Magic just has that component where, you know, even the good matchups, they're just like 60%, you know. So 40% of the time you're going to lose them. Yeah, Questing Druid, this deck seems somewhat reliant on Questing Druid in situations like these. While Izzet Prowess has Storm Chaser's Talent for 1 to also use in a flooding situation to good effect. And also has, of course, 8 cantrips that are better than like Might of the Meek. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Prowess deck is better, huh? Certainly feels like we're missing some card advantage. You could also play this deck without the Mice package, theoretically. Is that a possibility? Like play 4 copies of Ren's Resolve and just Might of the Meek, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but this is like I'm super cooked here. They're just sitting on instant speed removal. They're not even using. They're drawing 2 cards per removal. I'm just gonna try to sneak in some damage somehow. Hopefully that works. I'm just gonna Burst Lightning Face here for an extra damage from the Prowess trigger. I mean, I'm super desperate right now. Like, if they have another Right Send, it's just game. It's okay. It looks like they have. I think I'm just gonna concede. Yeah, let's get lost. I guess it's a little worse. All right, fair enough. I won't quite concede yet. Like, they could have 6 lands in hand. They're checking the graveyard. All right, I'm gonna concede. That's White Overlord, draw 2. I ain't up for that. We got unlucky there. It happens. Let's continue. Play first. Sure. Maybe I was meant to mulligan that hand. That was tricky. Yeah, maybe I was meant to mulligan that hand on the play against Domain. It was just so awkward in a way. And I mean, I was keeping it thinking that like I have 27 1-drops in my deck. You know, sometimes you just gotta hope that you draw well, right? And then I just drew 3 lands in a row and I got super punished. Could have worked out, you know, it could have worked out. They have a shock? Looks like they don't. Just Arena giving it away. It's pretty brutal. It's a brutal feature of Arena that does not like this would not be a possible play in paper, of course. I would not do that ever. what I just did. I would just attack for 2 and pass. But yeah, it's brutal that in Arena this is just easy peasy. Yep, they don't have burst lightning. I know it. Okay, so it's Izzet Prowess. So yeah. What do I want? Torches, I guess. Nemesis, maybe? I guess I need to cut some stuff. I think I'm cutting the manifold mouse probably. Like, what else am I cutting? I need I want the sharks. So it's Nemesis, Torch, then like pick your poison. Pick your poison seems so bad against Slick Shot, especially against like a plotted Slick Shot that hits you for like 8 in the air. Like that's not a good answer to it. Much better to torch it. And like against the Cutter, they already made a monk. I don't know if that's really what I want to be doing, you know. Could trim some Might of the Meeks maybe. And play some mouse, some of these. To really rough into Shark. Matchup's pretty fast. Yes, no. Yeah, I'm just gonna not have any green removal for the Cutter. I'm just hoping that either they don't have it or I can race kill them. Maybe I should probably have Wild Ride in the deck. Although it is worse without the mouse, manifold mouse, because no double strike shenanigans. Okay, that's a pretty good hand. Can I have nice on the draw cards here? Okay. Again, the Purge. The Purge, I say. The Verge. Okay, just playing it out. Yeah, I mean, having a Braid here instead of the Pick Your Poison would be so much nicer, honestly. Playing the Ember, it feels really bad. They can go Shark and something else, and I'm just so behind. Yeah, I think a Braid is better. That's my thinking right now. Then Pick Your Poison. I think I'm gonna make that swap. At least they don't have a second Cutter. Huh. That's actually quite decent for me, I guess. I can just kill everything. Not everything, but almost. They're down to 3 cards. Maybe with a flooding a little bit. Guess I'm just gonna prevent 2 damage there. Alright. Another land. Oh man. 6 lands again. This is so brutal. So brutal. I only played 21. Yeah, I don't want to play Ember Heart without a spell to protect it with against Shark. Are they gonna do the same again? Slick Shot into Swift Spear. Rage. I'm gonna Questing Druid in response. If they had AWP, they would have cast it probably. No torches, so I take a Bazillion, and that's gonna be difficult to come back from. Oh, I drew, what is this? A mountain. What does it do? Nothing. Okay, great. I drew a 7th land. Jesus Christ. Help. Help. Those would be spells, you know? Yeah. Not much else to say, honestly. It is how it is. They have 1 Shark. Yeah. Do take lethal there. Okay, cool. That was fun. Maybe I should just take all of those. Is that a strategy? Okay. On the play. The way they played that, you could actually pick your poison, the Cutter. Oh man, I hate it so much though. Maybe it's fine. Turns out Kata is a pretty good magic card. Newsflash. And drawing exactly 3 lands in decks like these. I can recommend that too. Okay. Where do I bottom here? Interesting. I'm on the play, so I kind of want to bottom a land. I think I should. Just play out Kata turn 2 and then hope for the best. I'm just like so scarred from these previous games. I'm sure if I bottom the land, I'm just gonna have 10 non-lands on top of my deck, stuck on 2 mana for the rest of the game. Let's hope not. You can say though that like not having these cantrips compared to Izzet, you kind of feel it, right? Like it does decrease your consistency by a bit. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's guaranteed. Like, I'm sure I'm just gonna draw 3 lands in a row, right? Like, guaranteed that I keep like always bottom the land. Or I should just keep 0 lands on the draw even. Emberheart Challenger. Okay. I mean, I have to pick your poison. I just have to do this, right? If they go slick shot, they hit me for a bit. But I have to pick your poison for it. And I have to get proactive. Something like Bolt Wave might be reasonable in this deck. It's like you don't have that many spells that are good at being cast proactively. Like you don't want to burst light in their face. You rather Bolt Wave it. In blue-red, you have like Opt and Sleight of Hand. Here you just have Might of the Meek, I guess. Alright, a bit of a chunk of damage. Okay. Alright, that was a decent draw. I can do this and then keep the questing druid for later. If I would have drawn a land, I would have had to use my druid there, which could have gotten awkward if I would have hit 2 spells. And I also wanted to kill a Slake Shot because Slake Shot threatens to deal me a bazillion damage. That would have been maybe... Oof. Alright, dangerous. Monster's Rage. You kind of have to play on full control, to be honest, in these games. Like, my opponent not knowing that I have a shock or knowing that I have a shock is pretty huge. Or like not being sure I don't have a shock. I think I just have a questing druid here. Are they at 10? Yeah. Seek the Beast I meant. Okay. So if I go Emberheart, it's 7. If I go Swift Spear, it's 6. But then I have 7 next turn. Not 7, but I have like... I have like 4, 6 or something. Alright, don't kill me, please. I'm at 8. It's pretty doable. They need a rage, I guess. Shock doesn't do it. Okay. Well, they concede. I guess I would have jump blocked my Emberheart Challenger there. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes, they would have. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, they could have slick shot it into Rage plus Burst Lightning to kill me, even if they jump block my Emberheart Challenger. They were technically not dead. Maybe had outs to win. I don't like this card. I hate it on the draw, especially in these like red mirrors. It's so bad. It's so slow. It's just way too slow. My opponent played it and just died. It's like you have to have very cheap cards. Ren's Resolve from this Prowess side. This card is not cutting it. Too many people are playing it still. I'd love to take the play. Yeah, seems reasonable. Turns out that I'm not using my one drop, like my first turn that often. While in Izzet, I use it for 16 different spells plus the sharks, right? Like I have Opt, Storm Chaser's Talent, Slide, and 4 Monastery Swift Spears. Okay, well, I'm very happy I can get to use my mana here. And in this deck, you have just the 8 1-drops that you can sort of proactively cast. And then you have 6 more sharks, so you have 14 if your opponent plays a creature. But if they don't, it's not so great. Am I playing against the Celestia Cage deck? They received Elspeth, right? To like give the entire team flash and flying and buff it. Elspeth is also another nice hit from the cage. Yeah, it's probably the cage deck I'm running up against here. So we can hit them for 8 double strike. Or we can just hit them for 4 double strike and clear the mana dork. It's probably what I want to do. Considering I can also hit a land with this. I could have cast Might of the Meek also first, theoretically, but okay. I guess if I would have cast Might of the Meek first, I would have... It's okay. I would have been able to cast that, but yeah, whatever. Just gonna kill that thing. It also gives them white mana. And they don't seem to have white mana right now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Did I mess up there? No, I didn't. Right. I was going for hitting a land drop. I could have gone Burst Lightning first. In case I hit... yeah, and then I hit for 2 more. So that's pretty reasonable to do. Tapped treasure tokens. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know what I'm up against. I'm playing against a version of the Gearhulk deck. What, I don't know what's the green-white Gearhulk. I don't know what the name of it is. It's my opponent. No, they're not dead. They can block here, take 12. They block there, take 10, yeah. No, they can go like Gearhulk into Reliquary, exile one of my creatures. That's actually pretty good. Oh, no. That's less impressive. Okay. It might just be a mix of the Gearhulk plus Cage. Like, these cards you would play in Cage, not in Gearhulk. But this card you definitely play with Gearhulk because it's a 1-drop you can find. Let's go with... So that 4. I have 3 blockers. This could become a free... I can make it a... I can theoretically equip it. Make it a 4-power double striker. Then they put everything in front of it. They still take 3 and then they take 1 from this. That should be enough. They don't have an instant. Right, they can block here, 4 there, but they take... Yeah. Right, let's start with this anyhow. I have to do this anyways. Okay, well... Yeah. Sure. I mean, I had lethal already. But yeah, that just makes things not outrageous. When you win big time, I guess. Yeah. I didn't need it. The Curry Steel Cutter. The Curry Steel Cutter just as equipment is quite nice for Manifold Mouse, right? Like buffing the mouse in the late game to 2 power just makes it more and so on and so on. So that's something I also liked about this deck initially. Okay. So Bright Glass Gearhulk, Overlord of the Mistmoors. Bright Glass, that's what it's called, yeah. And small critters. Probably want those 2 sharks. And maybe the Scorching Shots, although they don't look that good against what my opponent has. I guess I could play Disenchant effects, couldn't I? Blow up Gearhulk, blow up Reliquary. What do I not like in this matchup? I definitely like this. I just cut the Wild Ride because they have a lot of blockers. Cut a Might of the Meek. And then I'm thinking about these. Maybe it's unnecessary. They don't seem to have very high toughness cards. I could cut another Might for Reclamation, just one of them. I can certainly sense awkwardness with this deck compared to Izzet. Like, the whole cutter stuff is a good amount worse here. Like, those 1-mana cantrips are so important to get everything going, to puzzle everything together and whatnot. Yeah. From mulligans. So right now, my verdict is that Prowess is the better cutter deck. This is not it. Like, if this deck draws perfectly every game, like a 10 out of 10 draw, that might be better than like a Prowess 10 out of 10 draw, because it just like has more power to it. Right, if you go like Heartfire Hero into Manifold Mouse, attack for 4, then you go Cutter into Rage, you attack for 1,000,000, right? Like, you attack for 6 double strike, 12 plus Cutter plus Mouse, that's like 15, so you put them to 1 if they didn't have anything. Like, the powerful draws this deck has are incredible. But the less powerful draws it has, like, or the consistency is just worse, is what I'm trying to say. Authority on a mulligan is pretty rough. It's like, I'm just gonna grind them out slowly here. Definitely gonna kill that, and then the question is, do I want to hit them for 5? I think yes is the answer. Then I have a free who hits them like a lot harder for the next turns, and the Heartfire Hero number 2 is kind of not that great here. I don't think I have to worry about a sweeper. Oof. All right. Well, the game is soon. Is the game over? It's 14 damage, I guess, and it's 17. It's close to being over. Ah, Monstrous Rage and Manifold Mouse and Heartfire Hero. Who doesn't love that trio combination? Who doesn't love it? If they kill my Manifold Mouse, I still have probably lethal coming at them between Ember. Oh no, the Ember Challenger doesn't have haste. All right, now they're presumably dead. Shock. I was about to rock face here. This is 5, 8, 16. Yeah, they're super dead, I guess. Yeah, I can just show them. They have 1 white up. There's nothing that can deal with a 5/5 or 6/6 toughness at 1 white. They can have smite for my hero, I guess. Okay, I guess theoretically they have Into the Floodmoor up. Never mind. Theoretically they have Into the Floodmoor. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really excited about this deck, I have to say. I don't know. I don't love it. And that's unexpected for me, to be honest. Going into it, I was like, oh, this could actually be real. You know, the green sideboard cards, especially the Heritage Reclamation, looks awesome in this format. But yeah, Into the Floodmoor is something that can deal with any type of permanent that Izzet promises access to, so that kind of does it. And then like counterspells are also similar to Heritage Reclamation in the end against Abuelos, right? Like, Heritage Reclamation is specifically against Abuelos, it's counter spell and draw a card, right? Because you exile and draw a card. So it's worse than like Negate or Spell Pierce. But against everything else, or like against the base or Day of Judgment or something like that, it is better to have a counter spell, of course. So blue has that. So at that point, what does green have? It has like Questing Druid, okay, that's cool. And it has like yeah, so those disenchants. Those are the green cards, really. And yeah, Storm Chaser's Talent is also another like really subtly very, very strong card that does help you a little bit when you're flooding, right? That does give you a little bit more spells. That does give you a little bit of that late game action. So yeah, my verdict is pretty clear at this point. Izzet Prowess is clearly superior to this deck. That doesn't mean necessarily that Gruul with Innkeeper's Talent couldn't be better, maybe in the future. But or like that, yeah. Honestly, right now I'm thinking that Innkeeper's Talent Gruul might actually just be better than this version of Gruul. It's like the cutter making you play like Might of the Meek, which is not a very good card, and then going away from the Nemesis, which is really good. So I don't love it. But to be honest, Mono Red Aggro is probably just a better Gruul Prowess deck nowadays. So it's like Mono Red and Izzet Prowess are the top tier of red aggression right now, I would say. Yeah, and then Gruul is like maybe a tier and a half lower or something. All right, well, that was Gruul Cutter. Definitely learned something here today. And yeah, that was good. All right, guys. Thank you for watching as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I see that 60% of my viewers on the videos on average are not even subscribed. Guys, click that subscribe button. That really helps grow the channel, shows me that yeah, I can make something out of this. And I'll keep working it and keep putting my time into it, of course, the more support I see. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care.